Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Bring the Sing podcast. I'm your host, The Hammer, and we got a good one for you today. We're doing a continuation of the over-under regular season wins series. We started out with the AFC and NFC West, and now this episode will be primarily about the AFC and NFC North. So let's get into it. Looks like my handy-dandy little website that I was using to record all of my wins and losses has saved my progress. So now, if an AFC North team played any one of the teams that I predicted from last episode, or the last episode in that series, at this point it will save, and I will not have to contradict myself. So that actually helps me out a lot. Anyway, AFC North, who do we got? We got the Ravens. First up, Baltimore Ravens. They are going up against the Indianapolis Colts in Week 1. Looks like that will be a 11 a.m. game. That sounds about right. I don't know. A Colts-Ravens game, I think the Ravens will probably handle them pretty easily there. I know the Colts did pretty well last year. A lot better than people expected, but I think the Ravens are going to bounce back with a Week 1 victory on the road. Then, for their season home opener, Week 2, they're playing against the Saints. Give me the Ravens. I think this is an easy dub for Baltimore. Week 3, they're going up against the Cowboys in Brazil. This one will be interesting. I think technically it's a road game, but I guess it's a road game for both teams because, they're in a foreign country. But I do think the Ravens are better than the Cowboys, so give me the Ravens over the Cowboys Week 3. Week 4, I actually have these guys starting out 4-0 because they're facing off against the Titans. I think that's a dub for the Ravens. Week 5, they're going up against the Falcons in Atlanta. Doesn't matter. That's a Baltimore dub right there. Week 6, they're going up against the Browns in Cleveland. I think, my oh my, this is interesting. You know, these division games are always the hardest ones to these are always the hardest ones to predict. Right now, I have them going 5-0. I don't know if I have them going 6-0. But Cleveland, though, Cleveland's just so sad, man. Cleveland's so depressing. I think they're gonna beat Cleveland. You know, if Deshaun Watson is still starting, which is crazy, by the way. That was something that got announced between last episode and this episode's release. This is absolutely crazy that Deshaun Watson is playing. I think they're just trying to get their money back from all that contract or whatnot, or at least they're just trying to tank so that way they can get a better draft pick. Because I truly believe, and I don't even think this is really that hot of a take. I truly believe that that Shador, you know, you got to see what you have with him. You know, this is crazy. I guess I'll get to more on the Browns here in a second because they're going to be the next team that I'll be predicting here soon. So, but anyways, back to the point. Let me get the Ravens over the Browns in Cleveland. Then they're going to play against the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to play against the Cincinnati Bengals in Baltimore, and I think this is going to be their first loss of the season. Give me the Bengals upsetting the Ravens on the road in Baltimore. Week 8, now Baltimore goes on the road against Buffalo, face off against Josh Allen. This should be a Sunday night game. I don't think it's scheduled to be a Sunday night game right now. But however, give me the Bills at home, protecting home field against Baltimore Ravens. So there we go. That's 2 losses in a row. Then they face off Thursday Night Football against Jacksonville at home. I think they bounce back. Then they play. They get some extra rest because it's a Monday. They play on a Monday night against the Los Angeles Chargers, and looks like I already predicted this game because I already picked the Chargers schedule. So I have the Ravens beating the Chargers at home in Baltimore. Then I have Baltimore going into Carolina. I think this is actually a Carolina dub. They're facing off against Carolina on a short week. They're going into Carolina, a tough place to play. I think Carolina is actually a pretty good football team now. Then they're going to go off into Houston, play against the Texans on the road. I think, man, that's actually kind of tough. You know, Ravens, they're a good team, but they kind of get, I don't know. I actually think they fare well against the Texans most of the time. I'll pick the Ravens to beat the Texans in this one, and I believe also the Houston Texans, as great of a defense that they have, it's also a really sad offense. So I think Baltimore probably be able to score a little bit more, assuming everybody stays healthy. Week 13, they have a bye week. Week 14, they're going off against Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. I think, that's a good one. Wow, they kind of saved all their division games towards the end. 15, 16, 17, and 18 now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, actually, I think they'll be able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. So that's already quite a few wins for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, here's going to be where they drop some games. They're going to lose against the Steelers in Pittsburgh week 15. They're going to sweep Cleveland. I'll give them that. I think Cincinnati actually sweeps them because they're going to play off again in Cincinnati. What is this? Oh, this is New Year's Eve. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Give me Cincinnati at home against the Bengals. And the last game of the season will be against Pittsburgh in Baltimore. And I do believe they'll get their revenge against the Mike McCarthy-led Pittsburgh Steelers. So what does that bring us to? That brings us to 12-5. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good number. Let's check their over-under real quick and see if it's over. I can't imagine that it's that high. Yeah, so it's 11.5 according to ESPN. So I smashed the over with 12.5, or I smashed the over with 12-5. So yeah, that'll be the Ravens. It probably looks like that they will take this division depending on how well the Bengals do and how easy their schedule is. Moving on to the Bengals, we got Cincinnati going up against Tampa Bay. Give me Cincinnati at home taking care of business against the Buccaneers. Then they go off into Houston to play against the Texans. This is actually going to be a loss. I think the Texans have a great defense that is high-powered enough to shut down the Bengals' high-powered offense, and the Bengals don't have a great defense, which means Texans probably will score more points. That's just how my brain is connecting the dots there. Then they're going to go off into Pittsburgh, week 3. I actually think this is going to be... Oh, wow, this is going to be a good game, actually. Is this Sunday night? No, it's 11 a.m. Yeah, this is a good one. Cincinnati facing off against Pittsburgh. It's going to be week 3 of the Mike McCarthy era. Give me the Steelers, actually. Then we're going to go Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. Jacksonville actually lost to them last year when Joe Burrow got hurt and Jake Browning had to come in. That was one of Jake Browning's only wins last year in his few appearances as a Bengals quarterback. So give me the Bengals to run it back against Jacksonville again in Cincinnati. Then they're going to go off against Miami in Miami. I think they'll handle them pretty well. Week 6 is the bye. Week 7 coming off of the bye. I already have them beating the Baltimore Ravens from the last schedule that we predicted. Then they're going to go back home against Tennessee. They're going to beat Tennessee. They're going to beat Atlanta in Atlanta. They are going to split the season series against Pittsburgh by winning against Pittsburgh at home. They're going to beat the Commanders on Monday Night Football in Washington, D.C. Then they're going to face off against the Saints back at home. I think that's another win. And then they're going to face off against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Wow, this is a tough one. Another 11 a.m. game. You know, for some reason, I think Cleveland always gets one against the Bengals at home. At least once a year, they will get one against the Bengals. So let me get the Browns pulling off the upset in Week 13. Then I have them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs at home Week 14. I have them going into Carolina on Week 15. And actually, this is going to be another good game. This should be like a 225 kind of game. This is a good one. I think they're as good of a defense as Carolina has right now. I don't think they're as good as the Bengals offense to slow down that Bengals offense. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Carolina Panthers at home. I know it's weird. I just don't have Carolina sweeping the entire AFC North. Here we go. We got the Bengals going off against the Indianapolis Colts. I couldn't see there for a second. Going up against the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. That'll be a loss, actually. Let me get a Colts dub in Indiana Week 16. Then I have the Bengals beating the Ravens Week 17 on Thursday Night Football on that New Year's Eve, and then I have them beating the Browns at home last week of the season. So what does that bring us to? that brings us to also 12-5 and winning the division. Wow, that is great. Well, unless the Steelers obviously go, 13-4, which could very well happen. I only have them losing 3 games so far out of the 5 games, so maybe they'll just go crazy. But yeah, so far, I can't imagine that the over/under line is set at 12.5. So let me just give that a quick glance real quick, and we will see. Yeah, the Bengals, here we go, 9.5. So yeah, we smashed the over on the 9.5. And again, this is not promoting any gambling. This is just going off of what the quote-unquote experts think the Bengals are going to do this year. So if I'm considered an expert, and hopefully you consider me an expert because you're listening to this right now. You're not just listening to some a-hole, talking from the side of his mouth about football for 31 episodes, If you think I know a thing or two, then hopefully you think there's some merit. Now, obviously, injuries happen, and this Bengals team has a lot of injury history, so this could very well be far, far from the truth. They could very well be 5-12 instead of 12-5. However, this is just assuming everybody stays healthy in a perfect NFL world. Moving on to the Steelers. Steelers going off against the Atlanta Falcons at home in Pittsburgh. That'll be a Pittsburgh W for Week 1. Week 2, they're going off against New England. In New England, I think that's a loss. I think give me New England beating them. And then I have them beating the Bengals at home, like we just discussed. Week 4, Thursday Night Football against the Cleveland Browns. I think this will still be Deshaun Watson time, so even though it's in Cleveland, I still think this will be a pretty gritty game, but I think Pittsburgh will be able to take care of business. Then we have Indianapolis going up against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. If this was in Indianapolis, I think this might be different, but in Pittsburgh, let me get the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they go off on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me get my boy Baker Mayfield beating the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Then they play in France. Wow. I wonder if this is the first NFL game in France. I think this is. The first ever NFL game in France, Week 7 against the New Orleans Saints. Gosh, this is interesting. I think Saints were not a good team last year, but they were slightly improving as the year went along. So in France, when these international games happen, literally anything could happen. Anything could happen. So let me get the Saints. The Saints are technically the home team here, so let me get the Saints beating the Steelers Week 7. Then we have Cleveland for a rematch in Week 8, and I actually think, it's funny. I think Cleveland beats them in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh beats them in Cleveland. So let me get Cleveland here. Then we have a bye week. Coming off the bye week, I already have them losing to the Bengals. Then they lose to the Eagles in the next week, Battle of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Then I have them dropping 6 in a row. Yeah, because I have them losing to the Denver Broncos on Black Friday. I have them losing, 7 in a row. This is crazy. This is not a good year for Pittsburgh this year. I have them losing the Houston Texans at home, but, that Houston team is going to murder Aaron Rodgers if he's still playing. Then they got Monday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me get the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then finally, they bounce back Week 15. They beat the Baltimore Ravens, as I've already mentioned before. They play against Carolina in Pittsburgh. I'll be nice. I'll give them another dub against Carolina. And then they play against Tennessee Week 17 in Tennessee. Still think that's a Pittsburgh dub. Week 18, they face off against Baltimore, and they lose against Baltimore for a total record of 7-10. Wow. Okay, that actually makes me feel a little better then, because the Steelers are kind of notorious for always going 10-7, 9-8, 8-9. So always kind of being in that wild card hunt, always being like truly the middest of mid teams. So I actually kind of feel better that I have the Steelers going 7-10, and Their over-under, can you believe it, is set at 8.5. So I have them just under that 8.5 mark at 7 wins. Last but not least, we got the Cleveland Browns. This is going to be a rough one, man. First off, they go into Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville spanks them, especially with Deshaun Watson starting at quarterback. Then they go into Tampa Bay. Wow, they have 2 road games to start off the season. They go off to Tampa Bay. They still lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then, week 3, their home opener, they go up against Carolina Panthers. I think Carolina Panthers take care of business. I have Pittsburgh beating them Thursday Night Football week 4, as I already mentioned. Wow. Then we have Game of the Year, guys. Game of the Year. We have Cleveland going into New York, facing off against the Jets. This is a AFC Championship matchup right here. My goodness. Geno Smith against Deshaun Watson. Guys, book your calendars. October 11th. Do not miss this game. And I joke, but I'm probably still going to watch this game. So I'm sick about football like this, man. So let me get the Jets beating Cleveland at home. Gosh, I think I have them starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have them starting 0-6 to begin the season. This is rough. And they go off against Tennessee. This is probably where Shador gets his starting job back. So I have them beating Tennessee in Tennessee. Then I have them beating the Steelers week 8, as I already mentioned. Then they're going off against the New Orleans Saints week 9 in New Orleans. Give me the Saints. Then I have them getting absolutely stomped by the Houston Texans at home in Cleveland. But yeah, that's not even a context. Give me Houston right then and there. Week 11 is their bye. Week 12, I have them beating the Las Vegas Raiders. Then I have them beating the Cincinnati Bengals week 13. I actually have them losing to the Atlanta Falcons week 14, and then losing to the New York Giants in New York week 15. I have them losing, as I already mentioned, to the Baltimore Ravens week 16. And then I have the Indianapolis Colts pulling off the major upset. Just kidding. The Colts will beat the Browns on the road week 17, and then I already have them losing week 18 against the Bengals in Cincinnati. So that leaves them at 4-13, which honestly sounds about right. Let me just check the over/under real quick for the Cleveland Browns. You know, these Super Bowl contenders right over here, and it looks like the Browns over/under is set at 6.5. So I wasn't too far off. Yeah, let me get the under on the Browns 6.5. So that completes the AFC North. Now we're on to the NFC North. We're going to start off with the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions looking to bounce back. They're still a good team. They still got some good pieces. They still got a great coaching staff. Let me get them beating New Orleans Saints week 1. Hold on. My buddy, I forgot my PlayStation was still on, and my buddy finally decided to join the party. So hold on, let me tell him to screw off real quick. Yo, dude, I'm recording Bring the Sink right now.
Whoops.
So, give me like 20 minutes. I'm just recording real quick, and then I'll hop back on.
Yep, take your time. I'm late as shit. I get it.
All right, you might be my first ever guest if they can hear you.
Switch over.
You're literally playing out of my controller speaker right now.
Oh, that's so much worse.
This is my boy Bill, guys. Bill, say hello. All right, that's enough from you, Bill. Anyway, I'm about halfway done. This should be it should be like a medium length episode. It's not gonna be like 2 hours or anything. All right. Anyways, back to what I was saying after the kind interruption from my boy Dollar Bill there. We got New Orleans going into Detroit. I think Detroit will win that first home opener / week of the season. Then they go off against the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football. Wow, that's a great game. This is a game that I'm actually going to circle my calendar for, all jokes aside, man. This is crazy. Let me get the wow, this is a good one, man. I think the Bills are going to get this one. And then Lions are going to beat the Jets week 3 at home. Then they're going to go on the road against Carolina. I think they will. Oh man, that's a good one. I think they'll take care of business on the road against Carolina. Then they beat Arizona on the road. Week 6 is their bye. Coming off of the bye, they face off in a division rivalry matchup against the Green Bay Packers. And I think at home coming off the bye. Give me the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers. Then I have the Detroit Lions getting revenge finally after losing the last two matchups to the Minnesota Vikings by beating the Minnesota Vikings at home in Detroit. Week 8. Week 9, we have the Lions going on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Let me get the Lions. Easy dub there. Then we have a great matchup, too. We have New England Patriots going up against the Lions. And this is supposed to be a home game for the Lions, but it's actually in Germany. So it's actually kind of a crazy historical context if you really think about it. But especially with the Ford family and all that. But yeah, actually, let me get the Lions taking care of the business in Germany against New England Patriots. Then we have another great game. Wow, this entire schedule could just be primetime games for the Detroit Lions because Week 11 we have them facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Detroit. Tampa Bay has had their way with them these last couple of matchups, so I think let me get the Lions beating the Buccaneers. Then Week 12, Thursday Night Football, short week. They're hosting the Bears at home. Let me get the Bears beating them on the road. Then we have Detroit easily beating the Atlanta Falcons. As you can tell, the Atlanta Falcons are probably not going to be a great team this year, at least in my opinion. Then we have Tennessee playing off against the Lions in Detroit. That's an easy Detroit dub right there. Minnesota faces off again against Detroit, this time in Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota this time around. New York Giants going up against the Lions in Detroit. Monday Night Football, give me Detroit. Then I have Detroit beating the Bears in Chicago. So they're splitting the series, except I think the road teams both win that one. And then Week 18, I have the Lions losing to the Green Bay Packers. This honestly should be Sunday Night Football as well, but that could be for the division. But right now, I actually have the Lions going 13-4. That doesn't sound right. I don't think the Lions will go 13. I mean, the Lions are still a good team. I just thought that I picked them to lose a few more times. I don't know. I'm just going to go through the schedule. You know what? I'm going to trust my gut. I'm just going to... 13-4 doesn't really sound too great to me. Obviously, that's going to be way over their season over-under line. Yeah, they're at 10.5. Okay, it's not terribly far off. It's only 3 games over the line. So, yeah, let me smash that over real quick. Move on to the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers facing off on the road in Minnesota for a division matchup, week number 1, and I think they get the win on the road against Kyler Murray and company. Week 2, they face off against the New York Jets in New York. Give me the Green Bay Packers beating the Jets on the road. Then we have their home opener on Thursday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons. You already know where I'm going there. Let me get Green Bay. Then we have Green Bay facing off against Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. That'll be week 4. That'll be a Buccaneers dub. Week 5, I think they get their revenge against the Chicago Bears on the road. At home in Green Bay against Chicago. Week 6, seems like these games between Dallas and Green Bay are always special. Let me actually get Dallas on the road against Green Bay, beating Green Bay. Then I already have them losing to the Lions, as I just mentioned. Then I have them going up against the Carolina Panthers, and I have them beating the Carolina Panthers Thursday Night Football in Green Bay. Then I have them losing to the New England Patriots on the road in New England. This should be a Sunday Night Football game. That's a great... Oh, no, it's 2:25. Honestly, that makes sense. Green Bay versus New England, this one I'd probably circle my calendars for, too. I have them taking the series against the Minnesota Vikings by beating them once again Week 10 at home. Then off the bye, Week 11 is their bye. Then I have them losing to the LA Rams. Week 12, Week 13, I have them going into New Orleans and bouncing back on the road against New Orleans. Week 14, I have them losing to the Buffalo Bills at home in Green Bay. I have them bouncing back again and beating the Miami Dolphins. Week 16, I have them losing to the Chicago Bears on a Friday Night Football. Oh, it's a Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas Day football. I have them losing in Chicago. That'll probably be another heartbreaker for them. And then I have them Monday Night Football after what is that, like 9 days of rest? Monday Night Football, I have them losing at home against Houston Texans in Green Bay, and then I have them beating the Detroit Lions week 18. So there's a good amount of wins and losses. Let's see. Yeah, looks like 9-8. I think that's actually perfect. That is actually this one I really cooked. The other schedules, like the Rams being 15-2, if you listen to the other episode, that one might have been a little out of my mind there, but yeah, I don't know. 9-8 for the Packers kind of seems right. Now let me see the over/under line. The over/under looks like, according to ESPN, it's 10.5. So I actually have them going under 10.5 wins. Even if they end up winning one of these games that I have them losing, they're still under this line that ESPN set. So that's pretty interesting. Although I do have them going 4-2 in the division, but I guess I have the Lions winning the division as of right now. Moving on to the Bears. Bears are going to have an interesting season with all the eyes on them, with how much Caleb Williams really improved towards the end of last year. He wasn't really all that great throughout the year, but he really genuinely improved as time went along, and especially last game of the season and once the playoffs really started. Anyways, Chicago going up against Carolina, first week of the season in Carolina. I actually, as much as I want to give Carolina their flowers, this is a really tough schedule and a really tough matchup, and I think Ben Johnson cooking up schemes for all offseason just for this game. Let me get Chicago beating them on the road in Carolina. Week 2, I have them beating the Minnesota Vikings at home for their home opener. Then Monday Night Football, have them facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles week 3 at home in Chicago. They already beat them last year. I think they'll probably beat them again this year. Then week 4, I have the Chicago Bears facing off against the New York Jets in Chicago. A battle of the major cities right here. And I have the Bears taking care of business against Geno and company. Week 5, after starting off 4-0, they finally get their first loss against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Week 6, they're beating Atlanta Falcons on the road in Atlanta. Week 7, they are losing at home against against the New England Patriots. Then I have them losing again on Monday Night Football to the Seattle Seahawks, this time in Seattle. Then I have them losing again. They're dropping 3 straight before the bye to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Chicago. They go on a bye week 10, and from the bye, they bounce back and beat the New Orleans Saints, and they have them beating the Lions on Thursday Night Football, as I mentioned before. Then I have them losing again to Jacksonville Jaguars, week 13, but this is on the... I feel like they face a lot of these good teams at home. That's the thing, man. Like, this is crazy, It's like they're facing off against the Eagles at home. They're facing off against the Patriots at home. They're facing off against the Jaguars at home. Like, this is either they're just losing a bunch of these home games, or the Chicago is just going to be a Super Bowl contender from what I can see, just from these 13 weeks that I've already clicked so far. So I have them losing at home again against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 14, I have them absolutely stomping the Miami Dolphins on the road as well, this time in Miami. Then I have them losing to Buffalo in Buffalo. That's a pretty easy decision to make. Have them beating the Green Bay Packers at home in Chicago. Have them losing to the Detroit Lions on the road. And I have them beating I have them beating the Vikings and number 9 himself, or Kyler Murray, week 18, to finish off the schedule at 10-7, just edging out the Packers for the final playoff spot. Well, I actually don't know if it's the final playoff spot. We'll have to do more digging, but so Bears 10-7. Let's see what their over/under is right now, because seems pretty close to what they have set here on ESPN. Yup, I have them just slightly over their regular season over/under total by ESPN at 9.5. I have them winning 10 games. So let me smash that over real quick. Last but not least, and probably actually very least, I have the Vikings. I already picked 7 Vikings games so far throughout all the other schedules that I've gone through, and they've only won one time. So here we go. It's going to be a rough one, man. It's going to be a rough season for Minnesota, looks like. Week 1, they're losing against Green Bay. Week 2, they're losing against Chicago. Week 3, they're losing against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. That's one that I actually just had to click just now because I didn't already predict it. Week 4, they finally get their first win of the season against Miami at home. Week 5, I think they win 2 games in a row by beating New Orleans on the road. Week 6 is their bye. Week 7, they lose to the Indianapolis Colts at home. Then Week 8, as I mentioned earlier, they lose to the Lions again. Week 9, I have them losing to the Buffalo Bills at home on Monday Night Football. Then they drop the next 2 on the road against Green Bay and San Francisco. I have them, or it looks like that game against San Francisco is going to be in Mexico, so that's pretty cool. Then Week 12, I have them beating the Atlanta Falcons. Week 13, I have them losing to the Carolina Panthers at home. Week 14, I have them losing to the New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football in New England. Week 15, I have them bouncing back and beating their division rivals, the Detroit Lions, as I mentioned earlier. Week 16, I have them beating the Commanders in Minnesota. Week 17, I have them beating the New York Jets in New York. And Week 18, I have them losing to Chicago, as I've already mentioned. Now let's see, I have them at 6-11, which honestly sounds like I'm cooking here, man. I feel like I'm genuinely cooking. This is not too far off from what the line is probably going to be set at. Let me see. 8.5. Wow, okay. So a couple of games off, but yeah, it looks like I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings under their regular season over-under total. So, wow, looks like I kind of went through that pretty fast. Or maybe I'm just having so much fun recording this that it was actually not as fast as I thought, but it just felt fast because I'm having fun, you know? Anyway, and I hope you guys are having fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much. If you guys ever have any questions that you want me to answer via, a Q&A or anything like that, you can DM me on TikTok or Instagram, or if you know me personally, you can text my phone number and ask any question that you want answered, football related. Because if it's not football related, I'm not going to answer it, and I'll probably just laugh at you. But yeah, any football related question you can ask me, and I will be happy to answer you. I really got to start cranking these episodes out now. I still have to do the East divisions and the South divisions, and I also have to do the NFL Top 100 list. They just announced 20 through 11, so now I owe you guys part 2 of the NFL Top 100. I think we stopped at 57 last time, so from 56 to 11 will be that part 2, and then part 3 will be just the NFL Top 10. So honestly, it should probably be a little shorter of an episode. But with the season coming to start here really soon, I really got to start cranking out these episodes, which is great news for you guys. That means I'm probably going to have to start releasing 2 to 3 episodes a week now. So I don't know, 3 is a little pushing it. That might be if we're starting the NFL week of the season, and I'm already cooking up ideas for the actual week of the season, because week 1, I'm actually going to have things to talk about. I'm actually going to have, this is my prediction for this game, and, we're going to go and talk about what to expect, kind of like what we did with the playoffs last year. This is going to be our first ever actual regular season games that we're going over. These might be a little longer episodes because, we're going to go over every single game from every single week. So we're going to be talking about 16 games beforehand, like a little open window into what to expect for the week. And then after all the games conclude, we're going to be talking about all the games afterwards too. So that's a minimum of 2 episodes a week right there. So little picks and preview episode before, and then a little results and finalization kind of episode after all the games conclude. Anyway, I'm going to stop repeating myself. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been so much fun to record, and I'm your host, The Hammer. Peace!